We actually practiced using ice, like a bunch of ice cubes at first. The idea is we don't get burned, right? Although we might get frostbite. So probably a lot of you guys, a lot of Chinese students who come to the United States are working in Chinese restaurants, usually as cashiers or servers, right? But I worked as a cook. Not because I was great at cooking, but because I was too shy, too timid to talk to customers. So my family isn't that wealthy. My dad worked as a teacher and my mom retired early with only a little bit of savings. And because of this, I had to work part-time to support myself. And I'm always a very cautious person. So I made sure not to 打黑工, work illegally, because I was terrified of being reported and deported. But no judge for those people who do. And F1 students can work up to 20 hours per week during the fall and spring semesters and up to 40 hours per week during breaks and summer. So this job wasn't related to my major, which is important because the rules are different if your work is related to your studies. For internships or work related to your curriculum, you can apply for CPT, but that's a whole different process. So to make sure I was following the rules, I researched legal job options and got an interview at Panda Express. It's a popular Chinese-American fast food chain in the US. And if you're not very familiar with them, they serve dishes like Kung Pao chicken, orange chicken, Beijing beef, Haniwana shrimp. Foods that aren't very common in China, but American people love them. If I had to describe them in 3 words, it would be sweet, of course, crunchy, and super sweet. Yeah. One of my most viewed videos was about dealing with a difficult customer or a Karen at Panda. And I didn't work as a cashier for long because I messed up so badly on my first day. I got so nervous that I ended up staying in the back kitchen most of the time that day. And I was expecting more training, but it turned out I was wrong. I was rushed through a training video in the manager's office while he kept asking, "Are you done yet? Can we get to work?" And so I was very anxious. My heart was pounding and my whole body tingling from being nervous. I don't know if you guys have that feeling when you get nervous. But finally, they sent me to serve customers, which is similar to working at 盒饭快餐 place in China. You scoop the food onto their plates. And I was very nervous. I couldn't take in what customers were saying and had to ask them to repeat their orders over and over again. I didn't even know what they ordered. I had to keep looking at the food labels. The manager told me to get 1 scoop at a time per dish. Of course, I followed this rule, and as a result, customers complained about the small portions. Because I acted like 食堂大妈, right? So my supervisor finally took over and gave them more servings, gave them more scoops, and I was super confused. And I was like, what about the standard? Like, what should I do? And I was so bad at small talks, I couldn't really communicate with the customers at all. So after that, I was pulled from the server role, and the manager implied that maybe I should try working as a cook instead. Working as a cook, there is a 50-cent pay raise. At that time, I was earning $8 an hour, so it would be $8.50. It's a little bit better, so I decided to give it a go. Being a cook was way harder than I imagined. At Panda Express, I had to learn to flip a heavy wok. Or in Chinese, we say 颠勺, right? And these woks were enormous, more like the ones used in rural China. Cooking chow mein or fried rice wasn't like stir frying at home. It was more like mixing cement. I had to use 2 spatulas and my arms got so sore that it felt worse than a gym workout. I didn't want to seem lazy or irresponsible, so I kept pushing myself. And one of my supervisors noticed I was struggling a lot and came over to help. He was really, really kind and made small talk to make me feel more comfortable. By the time I went home that day, I was so tired. I could barely hold chopsticks. My hands were shaking, almost like I had Parkinson's. No offense to the real patients, it's just an analogy. And over the next few days, I cooked more chow mein and fried rice than ever because, they were the easiest, and I practiced flipping the wok a lot. We actually practiced using ice, like a bunch of ice cubes at first. Are there any cooks watching my video? Do you guys use ice to practice as well? The idea is we don't get burned, right? Although we might get frostbite. But whoever came up with this idea is a genius. Anyways, this job was tough, repetitive, and boring. And I often got burned even when I was kinda skillful at it because I'm just a clumsy person. And I wasn't great at cleaning either. Chefs had to stay late to close the restaurant and clean. And I really wish I knew that beforehand. But I did learn a lot of English, mostly through talking with my coworkers since I was too shy to chat with my customers. By the way, I want to share a little bit about my training camp. It's designed to create an immersive environment where you can talk to me privately every day about your life. And the camp also includes recorded lessons and tons of speaking activities. I'll rate all of them and provide suggestions. And I don't know anyone else offering this level of personal involvement. Most courses I've seen online don't actually have someone pushing you to stay committed or track your progress. And yeah, and you can't just buy the course and expect magic will happen, right? You have to put in the effort and see the results. But I'll be there every step of the way to help make that happen. My coworkers were super friendly and patient with me, even when I asked awkward questions like,
"Oh, have you guys really experienced racism? Or why do you like rap music?"
I'm so grateful that they didn't take offense, maybe because they could tell that I was genuinely curious or just ignorant. So in the end, I'm sharing this story for ordinary people like me who are thinking about working legally in the US on an F1 visa. And I know this isn't the smartest way to earn money compared to those who are making millions in their 20s, but it was still a valuable experience for people like me. Before coming to the US, I didn't even know how to cook, but I became a girl chef who could flip a wok loaded with like 10 to 15 pounds of roaring chicken. I may not be the smartest, but I was hardworking, and I'm proud to say I became a good cook who brought joy to plenty of college students with my food. And I want to take a moment to say to all the Chinese people working in restaurants, thank you for your hard work. Your food brings comfort to so many of us living far away from home and helps with our homesickness. I know how tough it is, but hang in there. Our lives depend on you guys.